Hi everybody. Today I'm going to talk about a conspiracy theory in Colombia which tells people that the Colombian government, including senior officials, was involved in the assassination of former senator and presidential candidate Luis Carlos Galan Sarmiento. I want to start with a light snack to familiarize yourself a little more about what this video is about and what is the objective of it. Well, to start this analysis, I will use the pipe tools. About the pipe tools, I would like to touch two of them to analyze this TC. First pipe tool, that's gonna be indiscriminately accepting. Why? Well, basically, our culture of Colombians, we used to believe everything, everything that people just talking about the presidents and the governments. We always believe in all of that stuff, and we never put ourselves in the task of finding key evidence of everything that we used to talk about. This problem is a key for many histories and conspiracy theories, but we are gonna talk about today of Galan because more than 30 years after his death, people is still believe that Galan was one of the victims of the narco state of that time. After 30 years, people do not care about knowing the reality. They simply always believe in everything conspiracy that has to do against with the government. So, the second tool that I'm going to analyze is inconsistencies. Why? Basically, everyone often changes the history about the responsibles. What is transmitted between people never ends up being seen as an absolute truth. Can someone tell you who is to blame? It was the paramilitaries, the cartel of Medellin, the cartel of Cali, or the Colombian government. They always tend to change the details of how it happened. That makes one doubt whether what is said is really a reality and if those who blame the government, they are right. Although, if you ask me, the fact that there are so many culprits makes the theory lose weight. Because the objective of why the government got involved in Galan's death is not going to be clear. So, we will use two more tools to continue analyzing the TC. I will begin to give more information. All your references will remain in the description of this video. Using the sociology cultural anthropology tool, a tool linked in my opinion with what I talk about in analyzing the fear spy tool. Since here we will see how socially and culturally people began to talk about the theory that the government was involved in Galan's assassination. We can see that there are several quite strange and controversial events, starting with the security chief who had been assigned to ex-Senator Galan, Police Lieutenant Jose Alfonso Torregrosa Melo, a man who, as a Colombian newspaper, says he had problems with the law, suspensions, inexperience in security, and apart from everything, he had contact with one of the hitmen who killed Galan. Was this really the best man for the security of one of the most persecuted men in the country at that time? Interview with Galan's son by Infobay. So, Galan's son spoke about different topics in this interview. He talked about how his father did not receive support or empathy from well-known politicians and influential people of the time, regardless of the attack in Medellin months before his death. Now, if we analyze everything with this tool, we can see that due to the political and social context of the time, people view the state as suspicious. The political science tool, of course, had to be present since we are dealing with a political issue. It should be clarified that during that time the political situation in Colombia was too complicated. Politicians, journalists, police, military, and government officials died. However, it was not the entire political sector that was affected. It was a part of the political sector that actually was really affected of all of this problem, and that sector was the people just fight against the narco traffic and the cartels. Continuing with the interview, we know that there are politicians already convicted by the Supreme Court of Justice. That is the case of former Senator Santofimio, who had a direct relationship with the different cartels in the country. We also found names such as Colonel Gonzalez, second in command of the DAS, Captain Montilla, commander of the Suacha police, General Maza Marquez, and General of the police Peláez Carmona, of which only two are still on trial and the rest have been sentenced. Galan's son also gave three names of politicians are presumed involved, including a former mayor of the city of Bogota on that time. As this tool tells us, someone had to take a clear advantage of the murder. The advantages that the investigation yielded, the corrupt politicians want money and the cartels want to overthrow the extradition law. So, if we look at it from a political context, there were profits and clear objective on the part of all of those involved and presumably involved. I think that the references that I choose to carry out this video are viable and reliable sources since I was even able to get direct information from a Colombian government page, information from different important and biggest newspapers in Colombia, and also the interview with the son of Galan, who always speaks affirming and presumed, thus respecting impartiality. And if you read all of the sources in detail, you will see that they are linked and fit very well. The way that this theory became popular was basically that Galan was a candidate that most people identified with. Everyone thought that he he was a winner of the elections of that time, and that's why Galan's death is seen even in high school as a part of the history of Colombia. However, the conspiracy theory as such has been spread from person to person. I hope you have learned something new about Colombia and hope you can read the bibliographical sources because there is too much information that might interest you, since this city is both true and false, since it was not the high command of the government, such as the president, who were involved.